Today's video, we're going to be disassembling this and showing you the O-rings and what to look for when you're looking for a damaged O-ring. So I'm just going to disassemble the entire thing, and I'll show you everything you need to know. Now, a lot of people, I've never really seen any videos of how to disassemble these. A lot of them are in Chinese or they're Indian. So this is just going to be a completely English version, and we're going to disassemble this thing. The things you're going to need, a lot of them come with these O-ring packets. Then you're going to need this, which also a lot of them come with this. Sometimes you're going to need a wrench, and then you need a vise. So, first thing you want to do is you need to get this handle off. And all you got to do, just screw it off. Sometimes it'll be really hard to get it off at first, but you just unscrew this. Keep going. There we go. Alright, so this is where you're going to encounter. Oops, I got gloves on so my camera's not wanting to stand or whatever. So this is the first O-ring that you're going to encounter. It's this one right here. Now, to check the O-ring, you just want to make sure that there's 0 damages on it, which this one seems to be good. It's a little bit messy, but all you have to do is really just wipe it down. Now, what you're going to do now is you need to separate this handle thing from this. So there's a little pin. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little pin right there. I just like to smack it. Now I can't pick it up with my freaking fingers. Okay, the pin comes out, and you don't want to lose that pin. And then this comes off. Now, you have access to this. The second thing you want to do is you need to get this outer tube off. So, what you need to do is you need to get your wrench thing, stick it on there, loosen it up, and just unscrew this outer part. And then there you go. Now you have that thing off. Now what you need to do next is you need to get this ring part off. So what you're going to have to do is, I put this here because you don't want the metal smacking against metal, so I need to get this thing off. Alright, so now what you need to do is you need to get this off of this. So this part, if you have the pump if you had it for a while, it'll get really stuck. So you're gonna have to, oh yeah, I forgot. Here's another O-ring. Check this O-ring too. This could cause some issues. Now you can get this part off. So all you really have to do is twist it. At first, since I had mine for a long time, it was really, really hard to get off. But you just need to get it off. And screw it, I think. Okay, there it goes. Alright, now you have this part. But there's an O-ring in there. Oh, I forgot my flashlight. O-ring in here. So you get your flashlight and you just want to check this O-ring. I just replaced this one, so it's perfectly fine. So now you have this part. What you're going to do next is you need this part off. So this part is connected to this nut. So this nut does not need a spin. So you either need a vise or someone or something to hold this nut. So then you can unscrew this. So this is where the vise comes in. Don't mind my feet because I didn't wear shoes. So you need to tighten it. Make sure you don't tighten the threads on it, because if you get the threads, then you'll jack something up. So now you have this part. Now, I don't know if you can see this indentation right here. If you can, this right here, you hook it to that indentation. And I don't know, honestly, why they have 2 indentations here, but you just hook it to one. And then you want to make sure you don't accidentally hurt the other O-ring. And you don't want to scratch this tubular part. So then you just turn it counterclockwise, and then it unscrews. A lot of times, though, when I first was trying to do this, this thing did not want to come off. It was almost like it was Loctited. So you just unscrew it. And then you can see that other O-ring. Now, this part has liquid, okay? This part, a lot of times, will have liquid in it. So, oh, you don't want to pull that up. Okay. So, since you have the liquid, hold this part. Make sure you hold that part. And then get, like, something and then pour the liquid out. Mine doesn't have liquid because I think it dried up, but I need to replace it. It's the water coolant. So, you got this part off, and then here's another O-ring right here. Check that O-ring. That one looks fine. Now, what you're going to do is you need to... Alright, so now what you want to do is you want to get this thing out. Yeah, okay. Check this. Make sure the O-ring looks good, because there's an O-ring right there. Just make sure it looks good. And then this thing you can take apart if you need to change the O-ring. So then this goes down first. So this just goes head first right down into this whole thing. Okay. Oops. Alright. Here's another O-ring. So once you pour the liquid out, you just pop that off, check that O-ring, and it looks alright. Now you have this part. This part is what got me the first time. So this is actually how I fixed my hand pump. So right here, this is something that keeps the air from the gun coming into this. So that part, the O-ring in there was damaged, and it would push the air up, and I cannot pump my gun. And that little O-ring in there is the reason why. So you need to get a proper size flathead. I'm just going to use this one because that's the only flathead I have. Just don't strip it. So this part does not like to be tightened. So I'll show you in a second how to tighten it and stuff so you don't accidentally screw something up. Because if you over tighten it, it won't build pressure. And then you'll screw everything up. Alright. Trying to unscrew this stupid thing. Good grief. Won't come off. Alright. Oops. Yeah, you don't want to lose it. So it looks like this. It's like a little tiny thing. Now you're here. So there's a spring in there. And that comes out. Look at this. Oh, sorry, I was just sick, so I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. Get this flashlight. You see that? Oops, I'm shaking. See that O-ring? That was damaged before. And you want to make sure that's all good. And you might want to wipe this part off. So now, let me show you guys what a damaged O-ring would look like. It looked like this. It was ripped and like that. That's a damaged O-ring. Don't want that. This is bad. Damaged O-ring. You don't want that. Alright. Okay. Another thing. If the gauge drops randomly, that this part could be the issue. And then if you unscrew this gauge, this should be loosened. Don't tighten it. It'll screw stuff up. I don't think you're supposed to hand tighten that, so tighten it with the wrench. Alright. Now, we need to reassemble the pump. I'm not going to put my gloves on, actually. So, you need to go back here. This cone part goes head first. And then the spring should stick out like that. Now, this is very important. This part, this little part, do not over tighten it. If you over tighten it, again, it won't build pressure. So you, hold on, to get it on the grooves. Alright, so you don't want to over tighten it. So it should look like that. So it should be just like that. Don't tighten it more. You want it just like that. It's supposed to be loose. I don't know why, but it's supposed to be loose. Now you have to reassemble it. So, hold on. Oops, my bad. Okay. Now you need to reassemble it. You need to get this part back on there. So, I don't know if you can see it. It attaches to these, that screw thing. And you want to make sure this pole is pulled out. Okay, so you just slide it right back on there. And then you need to hook it back to the vise. So you close the vise. You gotta close the vise. And then you need to tighten this back. Now you're there. Then you need to get your tool again. And then I think you do clockwise. Just the opposite of counterclockwise. And make sure she's tight. Alright. Now you need to get this thing back on here. You just gotta screw it all the way on there. So the goal of this video is check all the O-rings. That's what you need to do. Now obviously you just tighten it. Because if it's not snug, then you're gonna leak. Now, when you're doing this, a lot of people would put soapy, like just a soap water, like just a little soapy water on it, and you could check that way by your seals, or you can listen. Alright, so now you got that tight on. Then you just grab, I want to call it a shroud, but it's not a shroud. Then you just slide that thing right back on there. Tighten it. Make sure it's all good. Close it. This thing will pop back up. And then, don't forget this. That's very important. You'll screw something up, if you forget that. So then, where's that other piece? Alright, you get the handle part. I've already taken this thing apart so many times, so I probably know every corner of it. Alright, so then you do that, and you want to align it. You want to align it with the hole right there. And there's a hole on there. And all I do is I just stick it in there and lift it a bit, spin it around until it goes in there. It's locked. Then now you want to push down. Push until that O-ring, and then you could start twisting, because then the things will see yeah, you know what I'm saying. Okay, there you go. You just reassembled your PCP hand pump. So then you'll check it, make sure everything's working, and you should have a good working pump. Now I already replaced all my O-rings, so none of them were damaged. Oh, one more thing. This is a very, very important maintenance thing. You see this? This is a filter. There's a filter in here. Make sure this isn't dirty and replace it every month about. Because if you don't, it'll clog this up and pressure can't go through it. And then one more thing. If this is damp, then it can get inside your gun and ruin it. So you also want to probably have a second filter like this, so you don't get any water in your pump. So yeah. Alright, that is how you disassemble, reassemble, and check the O-rings on this Viver hand pump, or really any, because they're all Chinese manufacturers and they copy the same design. So, if you like that video, I got some awesome airgun videos on there on my channel, so you can check those out. But yeah, that's just a little thing, because I've not really seen any English videos on this. But thanks for watching. See you in the next one.